Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to show you what separates noob or beginner-made drums from professional sounding drum patterns. I'm going to show you two examples where I start with noob or beginner sounding drum patterns, and I'm going to fix them up to sound nice and professional. The main difference between beginner drum patterns versus professional drum patterns is in the sound selection, the use of effects, and the pattern itself. And by the end of this video, I'm pretty certain that you'll know how to dominate all three of those skills. Let's go ahead and jump into it. For drum pattern number one, we're going to be working with a basic house beat. We're going to be in Logic Pro X for this, and I'm going to play it back for you, and this is exactly what a house beat would sound like if a beginner made it. The sound selection is really boring. It's not exciting. The pattern is as basic as it could get with only 3 drums in the pattern, and the effects are bone dry. We need to upgrade all of those things to turn this into a pro beat. I'm going to go into my sample library. I like to use splice.com. This isn't an ad for Splice. You can use whatever sample library you please. This is just the easiest one for me to use at this moment. I'm going to shop around for good sounding drums. Alright guys, I have all of my drums laid out here, ready to go. Just make sure if you take anything from this video to spend the most time picking out good sounds. We have our kick here, our new kick. It sounds like this. And I'm just going to lay this out. And now I have a snare clap. So if we listen to this snare clap, it sounds like that. Just super unique, and it has 2 layers. It has a snare and a clap. I always like to layer up my drums. You get a more beefy, more unique sound. Now we're going to do our hi-hats. And with hi-hats, you can really show some serious skill just by picking good sounds and using a very good pattern, like a very strong pattern. So for my hi-hats, I always layer the main hat. So here's the main hat. And this is going to go in between every kick. So it's going to sound like this. But like I said, I like to layer it. If we listen to this hat, it's really wide. And I thought they came together quite nicely. And this is just going to layer on top of every hi-hat like that. Now, I call this the quick hat or the short hat. You can use the same hi-hat as the main one, or you could use one that's a little shorter. I like to use shorter ones. And what these hats do is they just speed up the rhythm. You could have it on every hi-hat. You could have it on every other one. Like that. And if we zoom in on this rhythm, we have the main hi-hat in the middle on every half beat, and then on the quarter beats we have the short hi-hat. So we have short, big hi-hat, and then short again, and that repeats. If we compare our big drums, our big hi-hat line, to the beginner hi-hat line, let's go ahead and listen to this. See, that hi-hat just has no life. But if we play everything back now, we get that. And so we just have now a basic rhythm still. We could still beef up this pattern with some expert style shit. And I have these 2 extra drums. And these extra drums are where you could really show some skill, because this is what makes the drum pattern now start to come to life. And I'm going to take this back here. And we have an extra kick here. We're going to take this back here again. And one last thing, I have a ride cymbal. This is optional, but I think it adds a lot of noise if you just put a very quiet ride cymbal on every kick. And as for effects, it's actually really easy. I like to grab OTT, put it on the drum group, and squeeze these drums together. So just a little bit like that. I'll add some saturation as well. And then obviously we'll go ahead and add reverb. So if we do one final comparison, we have our beginner drums versus our expert drums. So now you can see, just by upgrading the sounds, using a better pattern, and upgrading the effects, we get a way bigger sound. Let's jump into the next pattern. For this next pattern, we're going to be working in FL Studio, and this is an electronic future bass / pop style rhythm. So here's what this pattern would sound like if a beginner made it. As you can tell, the sounds are bone dry. They are just not exciting. The tambourine is stale as could get, and there are no effects bringing these drums to life. So now I'm going to hop into my sample library and chop around for some really nice drums. Alright, I have my drums laid out here. Let's go ahead and rewrite the basic rhythm, and then we're going to dress it all up. So I have a way nicer kick. If we compare the two kicks, my new one, it's just beefier, it has so much more power in it. And let's do the same rhythm as that rhythm below. And I'm going to grab a copy of this kick. Just drop it right there. And I'm going to make the velocity of this quick hit quieter. Now we have some dynamics there. And I'm going to grab our snap and drop it on every half beat. Just right there, if we compare now our snare and kick versus their snare and kick, it's just a day and night difference. Let's go ahead and throw a layer on every snap. I'm going to use these reverb effects that I found on splice.com. That little thing right there just sounded so much better. And here's that effect alone. Little stuff like that just adds so much attention to detail, and that's what listeners want. I have this other effect here. I'm going to put this in front of every other snap. And with chill beats like this, I like to have shakers instead of hi-hats. I feel like shakers are a little bit softer and they have a lot of character to them. So this is just a shaker loop that I found on splice.com. Sounds like it was recorded by hand. And I'm just going to throw this into our drum loop here. And by the way, I always use shaker loops. I never make shaker loops myself. I just think it's better if you can pull off a loop because it saves up a lot of time. Also, I found this loop in a pack from another YouTuber. It sounds like this. It's so quiet, but it adds stuff. It fills up that beat. So if we play everything together, it just keeps it moving and it really makes it sound full. So I have one more snare here, and this is I call it like a side kick or side snare. I'm gonna grab this and close the pattern down here. What's cool is that resolving your drum loops works the same way as resolving a melody. It just helps them become less repetitive. And I like to do that with these extra hits like this. And I'm gonna grab one more just to enhance the cadence. Make this unique, double click, and turn down the volume. If we listen to our original beat, it sounds like this. And with better drums and a stronger pattern, so on my drum bus, I like to have saturation, and for this saturation plugin, I'm using Decapitator from Sound Toys. And here I increased the depth of the kick just a little bit. Also, make sure to add reverb to your hi-hats, shakers, and snares. It just puts the drums in a space and it makes them sound good. There you go, guys. I hope you were able to take some value from this video. If you would like to learn more about how I can personally coach you in your music production journey, you can check out my programs at the top of the description below, and I look forward to seeing you in there. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, guys.